Well, everybody, welcome back to the Appalachian Outfeed. Been a minute since we posted anything, and that's because we've had some goings-ons here. Actually making some progress on some stuff. It's kind of funny how stuff happens and it's good things, but you're not really expecting it. We've just been busy and the weather's been kind of weird lately and just haven't been able to get out here very much. This morning going to finish up busting up the rest of this locust wood off these trees I cut off the last video I posted. In that video I mistakenly called this something that starts with an A. Oh my goodness, can't remember what that was. Anyway, it's not that wood, it was definitely locust, and I figured it out about 2 minutes after I said that on film. But anyway, so we're gonna get this stuff busted up. It's kind of a weird day today. It's probably in the mid 40s, but very, I guess you can see, cloudy, damp feeling, and just it's just kind of raw outside for what it is. It's going to warm up later today, but thought I heard my phone ding, but I don't have my phone with me. That's interesting. It's going to warm up later today, but then tonight it's going to start raining, and then by the time we get up in the morning, I think it may be snowing. It's going to snow for a day or so, so I'm trying to get the rest of this wood split up down to the house and get it ready to burn over these next 3 or 4 days. So, and then maybe, I still got 2 trees down in this little bottom here that I dropped, and they're laying across the bottom, so they're not getting wet or anything. I got the saws on my rig up there, and we may get to bucking them up, but what I got to do, once I get done with splitting this wood, is I'm going to have to pivot. I'll pivot myself down this hill. I have to pivot and get back up to the house. One of the things that went on this last week that really didn't know was going to happen, but it did. We ended up getting a hold of Elon Musk for some internet, and he got that shipped out to us. So now it's been set up and running. I say last week. It's probably been running for a week. I did this little kind of ghetto setup for the antenna and everything, but the last piece of the puzzle is supposed to be here today, and so I'm trying to run all that cable in buried conduit. So I got to dig a trench, lay the conduit, pull the cable, all that stuff, all that before it starts raining this afternoon. So this is what I was talking about. This is what I expected when I was cutting on these trees. I expected the inside to be kind of rotten like this, but surprisingly, the vast majority of it was not. The vast majority of it was like this, very solid. So I did actually film bucking up a couple of these trees, and haven't posted that because, again, editing issues. But looking at that, saw looks like it's not struggling, but it's not just zipping through the wood, and you look at it and go, dang, man, he's either got a dull chain or a crappy saw or something like that. And really none of the above applies. It's just this wood is hard, man. Locust is I don't know, it may be better firewood than oak, BTU wise. This stuff was like burning a rock or coal or something. It you throw a piece in there and it just churns, man. It's pretty great. Still got some left off the couple of trees that I cut. And this is going to be the last of the big stuff. Still got this stump I need to come back and cut. Got 3 stumps I need to cut and get some more wood out of. But yeah, man, locust wood. This stuff has been great. And with that, I won't make too much out of this, but it's really been, whew, that stuff's nasty. So here again, got a hole, and something got in there and just chewed up the inside. Without making too much out of this, all this wood has really been a godsend. If you go back and look at some of my first videos I posted, it was all about, kind of revolve around the fact that I thought I had enough firewood to get through the year, and then realized I didn't kind of late, and trying to, you know, scramble and get that taken care of. Well, 2 things happened. Since that real bad cold snap we had, it's warmed up a good bit. Which isn't to say we haven't been burning wood. We have been burning this locust wood, but we haven't just had to keep, you know, hammering on it the whole time. It's warmed up enough, you know, you throw a piece in there just to keep it going a little bit. But this locust has stretched the wood supply by another, it'll probably be 3, maybe even 4 weeks by the time you get it all cut, split, which is letting that other wood dry some more, and gonna get us, you know, obviously further toward the end of the burning season. So really grateful. I'm really grateful that the tree blew down. It started me cutting all this locust to start with, because absent that, I don't know that I would have done all this. But again, it's been a pretty fortunate turn of events, and glad to have this wood. Still got several other trees in here that I could take down, but I'm going to leave them for subsequent years. They'll just sit here and kind of season on the stump, I think, and I'll be here when I need them. And with that, I've actually looked at trying to buy some locust trees to plant. These things are supposedly so self-propagating. They're almost an invasive species kind of deal. 1 or 2 states won't let you plant them unless the trees already exist, but can't tell that that applies in my situation. So, thinking about planting some more. Problem is I can't find any for sale. Looked online, a couple places that we're buying our fruit trees from, or have bought our fruit trees from, and they're either sold out or just don't have them in stock. So I'm gonna keep looking, and these things are pretty fast growing too, which is amazing. In my mind, fast growing trees don't equate to like really super sturdy, hardy, solid trees, solid wood. Like oaks, man, oaks take forever to grow, but they're really dense wood once they go. But this stuff is very dense. You can use a fence post that's rot resistant. Just a really great wood for a lot of things. I think people build furniture out of it because it's so solid. But I don't know. From what I can tell, trying to read about this stuff, again, people kind of treat these like a nuisance plant or a nuisance tree or something. I don't get it. But if I can find some, probably gonna plant some actually back on this fence line over here, because they do grow so fast and have a decent canopy, not great. And once they apparently not very long lived, unlike an oak tree. So when they do die and drop, hey, we got firewood, and then we'll lather, rinse, repeat. Hopefully they'll again self-propagate along the fence line without a lot of input from me. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. We'll see how that goes. You know, one of the recurring themes here is, I think I know something, I don't. Goes back to that old saying about we plan, God laughs kind of deal. But so all good. But again, thankful to have these. Really kind of got us over the hump with the firewood situation, and I think we're going to be a lot better off for having grabbed these few trees and taking them down. So one of the other, let's see, oh yeah, so we got the Starlink showed up. That was a pretty big deal. Man, we went from like traditional satellite internet to Starlink, and that's about the difference between an old modem system and a modern network. The difference in speed and everything is just it's not even comparable. It's kind of Model T versus Ferrari kind of deal. You know, when you look online about Starlink and their speeds, you can find, it's not hard to find people complaining about their Starlink system. And you know, I started kind of the backstory on this is, for at least 3 years, I think going on 4, there's a company that partnered with government and the power company, alleging that they're gonna run fiber optic out here. It's kind of the modern day equivalent of the TVA, getting electricity to underserved areas. And frankly, you know, running a cable out here in the middle of nowhere in a very lightly populated area, it's kind of cost prohibitive for private industry, apparently. So this outfit got a grant, and I don't know if these were federal dollars or state. I kind of think it might have been the state. They got a grant, got all this money, and that was around 2019, I believe. Then 2020 hit, shut the whole thing down as far as progress goes. But now here we are in 2023, and we're still getting emails saying, yeah, we'll have you guys up and running in a year or so. Well, they've been saying that for 2 years. And that last email was kind of the last straw on that. So we got old Elon and sent him about $700. And next thing I know, we got this little satellite dish pointing at the sky. But it works. I have to say that my experience with it so far, and again, we're only about 2 weeks in, has been really good. Like I say, we're expecting, I don't know, 2 to 4 inches of snow over the next day or two, and that'll be the first test like that since I put this system in. Now I will say it's been cloudy and rainy and kind of like what you'd think of as bad satellite days since I got that Starlink up and running. In fact, we've had quite a few of those. But for the little light internet stuff that we do, Starlink hadn't missed a beat. I mean, it really hadn't. It's been fairly impressive, which is what I expected out of Mr. Musk. So, here again, oh baby, bouncy. Once I get done with this little chore, got to finish up running that cable. I spent several hours yesterday up underneath the house getting things situated to run this cable. Wasn't too tough. Actually got a pretty got a pretty nice crawl space as crawl spaces go to work in. Pretty clean and fairly high, 3 or 4 feet in places. Ooh. But had some other stuff I had to get out of the way and basically just prep everything to be able to run the cable. So I've got the cable run from where it drops through the floor to where it's going to exit the footing. What's it called that? The wall that holds up the house. So now I got to do the outside part of that today. I'm sure that'll go very smooth. Not going to film that because that's probably even worse than watching wood splitting as far as excitement factor goes. Ooh. And so that's something I actually have to think about while I'm doing it. Oh, shoo. Unlike wood splitting, which is fairly autopilot stuff. My goodness, I don't know what we got going on with this one. It don't want to go. Ooh. If y'all hear me huffing and puffing on this video, part of it is I'm working on about a 35-degree incline, 45-degree incline. It's pretty steep, and looking at some earlier video, it doesn't get captured on the camera, but it's tough. I can set my saw down. If I set it down sideways, it'll start rolling. That's how steep it is. So that's part of what's going on here. The other part's just being old, fat, and out of shape. There's nothing optimal about my setup here. Just trying to get this stuff in small enough chunks I can tote it up the hill. I can't even drive my tractor and little trailer down here because one of two things will happen. If try to drive sideways on the hill, it's going to turn over with me. That's no good. If I drive straight down the hill, I won't be able to get back up. So it's 30 yards away. Good gracious. So that means I got to make all these trips toting this wood up there. I don't know if it's better to tote the rounds up and split them down there, or split them here and make all the extra trips. This is what I'm doing. I will say I had a little bit of a gear upgrade since last we spoke. Ooh. I have been on the struggle bus with respect to my footwear. I could not find anything that was comfortable, warm, that fit my foot, and just conducive to what I do. I got a pair of steel-toed boots that I cut in when I'm running the saw, and those are probably, they're pretty okay as far as comfort goes. But when I'm out here on this incline, walking down, my toes jamming in that steel toe, it's just not good. So, plus, those things are the opposite of warm. So when it gets down in the 20s, those things are rough, man. Those steel toes just grab that cold, conduct the heat right out of the boot. So anyway, got to looking around and was able to locate a brand of boot called Dry Shod, S-H-O-D, and basically muck boots. And the story is that the guy that owns this company is the guy who started the muck boot company. So mashed all the buttons on the computer, and some showed up at the doorstep, and man, from the first minute I put them on, like, this is the way to go. So I got these guys on, and so far so good. They don't have steel toes, although they do make a steel toed model, but again, I'm trying to combat the cold a little bit. So far these have been a great buy. Really enjoying these things. Probably had them 3 days, but I've been wearing them almost daily. So, all right, I think that concludes the splitting. I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up, and then we'll see where we go from there.